I sat looking at the screen where USC was playing against Nebraska. The game was approaching the fourth quarter. Without Reggie Bush and Lyndall White, USC's offense was having difficulty. My wife, Sheila, walked into the room with a sour expression on her face, which has become a common sight lately. Our youngest son had left for college 2 months ago, leaving the two of us alone after 18 years of parenting. Whenever we were alone together, Sheila's mood seemed even more sullen. Finally, I asked Sheila about her unhappiness. She admitted to feeling dissatisfied, although she could not identify the cause. I suspected infidelity, given her diminished interest in me. Sheila's sour mood and loss of sexual desire hinted at deeper problems. Determined to find out the truth, I discreetly recorded conversations and tracked her movements. One day, coming home earlier than usual, I noticed that Sheila was gone. My inner voice told me that she was around, but not with me. Not wanting to assume the worst, I decided to ignore my suspicions. However, when these instances began to recur, I realized that I could no longer ignore the situation. I began to pay attention to the various times Sheila was absent. She would often leave for long walks or say she was going to the store, but return hours later with some vague explanation. My suspicions only grew stronger, so I decided to start keeping tabs on her. One day when I noticed that Sheila had left again, I decided to follow her. She headed towards the park where she stopped at a bench and started talking on her phone. I crept closer and heard her conversation. It turned out she was chatting with our son who had gone off to college. His voice sounded happy and enthusiastic, and I realized that Sheila just missed her son. But some sense of unease was present in me. Determined to find proof, I installed a hidden camera in our bedroom. Every night, when Sheila thought I was asleep, she would leave the house. It shattered me. I felt cheated and betrayed. One night when Sheila left the house again, I decided to follow her. Following the car, I reached the motel where she was staying. Suddenly, my pain turned to rage. I couldn't take any more of this lying and cheating. Back home, I could no longer pretend that everything was okay. I called Sheila into the conversation and confronted her with the truth. Her response was cold and indifferent. She admitted her deceptions and offered a divorce. I felt broken, but also simultaneously liberated from these lies that had been dragging on for far too long. Over time, I realized that Sheila's cheating wasn't my fault. It was her choice, her actions. And I couldn't let her control my life and my emotions. I decided to move on, starting a new chapter of my life without her. Eventually, I realized that love and devotion are more than just words. It's the trust and respect we give each other every day. And I realized that I deserve a man who values me as much as I value him.